enough time for finishing to explain what I have here. And what I have here is just a little part of the whole knowledge of the Quechua people. Why they decide to build Machu Picchu up here? Yes, I'm gonna let you know in a couple of minutes. It's because we need to find many reasons. And now, when they started, probably they started approximately 1050 or 1000 after Christ. Okay? Why they decide to build Machu Picchu or even Cusco at the Cusco city? It's because they were looking for the soft land for farming at that time. I'm so sorry if my book's a little bit old. It's because actually surviving many Inca trails. And now, when they started, when they were farming at that time, so how they look like at Inca time? They were farming, they were making some buildings to sit in Cusco, okay, at the Cusco Valley. And they were farming at that time. What's the winter time? Okay. At that time, when they were farming, they decided to take a seat. They were using. Actually, the Quechua culture is a product of the when they joined many cultures at that time. An example this: they were using llamas to bring the sand, to bring the soil from the jungle, from the coast even. Okay, even from the coast. But for what? Just for building at the time. Okay. They were using llamas. The storehouses. The storehouses are those buildings, the first building that we've seen once we were getting inside of Machu Picchu. It's because most of those buildings have a big windows which are facing to the valley. It's because those were in charge to capture the wind. Okay, to capture the wind and keep fresh inside all the supplies. I'm talking about, I think at times, if they decided to don't work by 4 years, without farming 4 years, people are talking about that they still could have some food for eating at the time, without working 4 years. Okay, it's because they used to save a lot at the storehouses. Now, most of the Quechuas, most of the Peruvian people will have a little mistake when we are talking about the Incas and Quechuas as well. Inca was just one person. Inca was the person who has the control of the country. Actually, Inca was the emperor, the title who has this person. The rest of the people, they were Quechuas because they spoke the Quechua language. Okay, just one person. The ruler was the Inca. Okay, Inca, the emperor, the king, the person who has the control of the country. So the rest of the people, they were Quechuas, priests and priestesses as well from different regions. How it looked like at that time? At Inca time. Okay, how was it at that time? Quechuas and Inca. Okay, Inca, the king, and Koya was the queen, the wife, the official wife of the emperor. No, but they one. How many people? How many emperors they were in all the history? According to the chroniclers, probably they were 12 emperors, just 12. But another historian is talking about that they were 14, 18, 22, 25, 28 emperors, 32 emperors, 35 emperors, 42 emperors. How many they were in total? According to the chronicler, probably they were just 12. Maybe they were just 12 emperors. But why just 12? It's because, look, according to the chronicler, which is called Waman Poma de Yala, people are talking about the person who started with all the Quechua culture is Manco Cápac in 1050. After Manco Cápac is coming, Loki Roca, Loki Yupanqui, Maita Cápac, generation by generation. But remember, not always the firstborn child is going to be a boy. And not always a boy will have enough conditions to be emperor at the time. Reason by which the second son or the next one's in charge to have the control of the country at the time. We could see the first, fourth emperor. After this are coming the next fourth as well. Yeah. The fifth one, the sixth, the seventh, eighth, which is called Huiracocha. Approximately 1430, 1435, according to the chroniclers. Huiracocha. Until Huiracocha, which was the 8th emperor, Cusco was just a little place. I'm talking about approximately around 60 or 70 kilometers around to Cusco, no more. Until this person, until the 8th emperor, which is called Huiracocha. But after Huiracocha is coming one of the best. I mean, it's coming the Earthshaker, Pachacuy, the person who decide to spread the Quechua culture to every direction. Even people are talking about that this person destroyed Cusco. He has destroyed Cusco. But for what? To build again, to rebuild with another architectural style, improving everything. Okay? One of the best, one of the great was the earthshaker, Pachacutec. Now, after Pachacutec is coming to Paquipanque, after Huayna Capac, the 11th, the person who predicts that the Inca Empire will disappear. And finally, is coming Huascar, one of the last emperors. They were more than 12? Yes, they were more than 12, but they were not royal. It's because once the first Spanish expedition arrived to the Inca Empire, they said, if the Quechuas people don't have one person, the Spaniards said, if the Quechuas people don't have one person who will represent them, they are gonna rebel. They're gonna rebel against us. Reason by which they said, I think that person is a member of the royal family, so that guy will be the next emperor. They decided who is gonna be the next person who's gonna represent them. Okay? But now, after this, but why we decide to build Machu Picchu up here? If we wanna stay here, we need to find many reasons. One of that could be to show the power to the rest of the towns. I'm talking about Pachacutec, the person who decided to spread the Quechua culture to every direction. The first reason, probably to show the power to the rest of the town. Maybe this guy came here and he found a people already living at this spot. And he